When the Michael teaser dropped, I broke down 5 things most people completely missed, and a lot of you told me it changed how you're expecting this movie to be. Now the full Michael trailer is finally here, and after watching it closely, I realized something. This trailer is hiding a lot more than people think. Not obvious moments, not nostalgia. There are 7 details in here that completely change what kind of movie this is going to be for fans, and even for people who don't know Michael's story that well. 1. The trailer starts at the end. In the beginning, the trailer doesn't open with young Michael or the Jackson 5. It opens with Michael Jackson at his peak during the Bad World Tour, walking alone in that sharp black look that instantly tells you this is prime Michael. At first, it feels like a simple, powerful visual, but it's actually very intentional. By starting here, the movie is telling you this isn't a story about how Michael became famous. It's about what it cost him to get there. Everything that follows, his childhood, his family, the pressure, the fame, is framed through the eyes of someone who already reached the top and is carrying the weight of it. That one opening choice quietly sets the emotional direction for the entire film. 2. Yes, sir, says more than any dialogue. At around 0:23, the trailer cuts to Joe Jackson building the Jackson 5, and there's a detail most people don't really notice. The boys don't call him Dad, they call him Sir. That one choice tells you everything about how this family worked. Joe isn't shown as a cartoon villain, but he's also not shown as a loving father. He's presented as a manager first, someone running a system. Discipline, control, results. From a young age, Michael and his brothers are treated like professionals, not kids. And that matters, because it explains a lot about who Michael Jackson becomes later. This isn't just about strict parenting. It's about growing up inside a machine where love is conditional and performance is everything. The trailer quietly sets this up early, so when Michael later starts pulling away, it doesn't feel sudden or rebellious. It feels like it was always going to happen. This moment reframes the Jackson 5 story from a happy family success story into something much more complicated and controlled. 3. Quincy Jones wasn't controlling Michael. At around 0:40, we see Quincy Jones in the studio with Michael Jackson during the Off the Wall album recording session. On the surface, it looks like a simple studio moment, but the way it's framed is important. Quincy isn't giving orders or correcting Michael. He's celebrating with him. That's a big shift from everything we've seen before. For the first time in the trailer, Michael isn't being managed or pushed. He's being trusted. This moment quietly shows Quincy as the first adult in Michael's life who treated him like a creative equal, not a product. And that explains why Off the Wall feels so free compared to what came before. The success they celebrate together isn't just about hits or charts. It's about Michael finally realizing what happens when his ideas are taken seriously. This scene matters because it shows the start of Michael believing in himself, not just performing for someone else. 4. The Jackson family is the brand. At around 0:58 in the trailer, we are taken to the Victory Tour era, which comes right after Michael's success with Thriller. This is when Joe Jackson says a line that explains a lot about what Michael was dealing with behind the scenes. He says, "We need to capitalize on Michael's success. The Jackson family is the brand." On the surface, this sounds like a father talking about business and opportunity, but in reality, it shows how Michael was being viewed at that point in his life. His success was no longer just his own, it had become the foundation of a family business. Joe's focus is clear. He wants more tours, more albums, and more money, with everything depending on Michael. The trailer shows this moment to help us understand why Michael felt trapped. For Michael Jackson, success no longer felt exciting. It felt heavy. He was expected to carry everyone with him without being asked what he wanted. This is why his decision to leave the group later does not feel selfish or dramatic. It feels like the only way he could finally take control of his own life. 5. The quiet decision that changed everything. Between 1:11 and 1:25, the trailer shows a moment that is very easy to overlook because it is so quiet. Michael says, "I need to think," and right after that, we see him alone in the studio. This is not a dramatic breakup scene or a big argument. That is what makes it important. The trailer shows Michael Jackson written ideas on a board, filling it with words, concepts, and plans. We even see his handwritten notes, which tells us this is coming from his own mind, not from someone else telling him what to do. For the first time, he is not reacting to pressure from his family or expectations from the industry. He is thinking for himself. We also see Bill Bray with him, someone who acted like a protector and a father figure. When Bill tells him that he is not a little boy anymore, it feels like permission. This moment shows that Michael's move toward a solo career was not impulsive, it was thoughtful, planned, and deeply personal. 6. Peter Pan, Bubbles, and the first person who understood him. At around 1:34, the trailer shifts into a very quiet and emotional moment. We see Michael Jackson with Bubbles the chimp reading Peter Pan, while his mother, Katherine Jackson, says, "Many people see this scene and think it is simply about innocence or Michael wanting to stay a child. But the trailer is showing something deeper. This moment is about isolation. Michael is surrounded by fame, pressure, and expectations. Yet emotionally, he feels separate from the world around him. Catherine's words matter because she is the first person in the trailer who does not talk about success, money, or performance. She talks about who Michael is. This scene is placed right before we see him working on Thriller and rising even higher, which makes it more powerful. The trailer is quietly saying that as Michael's fame grows, his sense of belonging becomes more fragile. 7. The moment fame physically hurts him. At around 1:56, the trailer reaches one of its most disturbing moments. We see the Pepsi accident, when Michael Jackson's hair catches fire during the commercial shoot, followed by images of him being rushed into an ambulance. Most people recognize this as a famous accident, but the way it's placed in the trailer is very intentional. This is the first time we see success actually injure him. Until now, fame has been emotional pressure, family conflict, and creative exhaustion. Here, it becomes physical pain. The trailer places this moment near the end to make a clear point. Everything Michael achieved came with real consequences. His body paid the price for the image the world wanted. Right after this, the trailer ends with a montage of his life and Michael's voice saying he wanted to spread joy and peace. That line hits differently after seeing him burned and broken. The trailer is quietly asking a question. How much can one person give before it destroys them? When you put all these moments together, the Michael trailer stops feeling like a highlight reel and starts feeling like a warning. This isn't just a movie about talent, success, or fame. It's about pressure, control, and the price of being extraordinary. And the fact that the trailer starts and ends with Michael at his peak tells you something important. This story isn't asking you to celebrate him. It's asking you to understand him. Whether you're a lifelong fan or someone watching this for the first time, these details change how you see the movie. And once you notice them, you can't unsee them.